That's
the point. Maria Elena, she wants to say
about this because they keep talking about illegal aliens. First of all, I don't like to use the word illegal. It is undocumented. Coming into the country without documents is not illegal. It's not a crime. Excuse me. It is
can I finish, please?
It is a misdemeanor.
And it's against the law.
It is
if I still go, it's a misdemeanor, but I broke the law.
It is a misdemeanor, just like DUI is a misdemeanor.
A former Univision News anchor on CNN is now saying that entering the country without documents isn't illegal. That shows how far the media is going to confuse people. If you break immigration laws, don't worry. Liberals will just make it look harmless and call it a paperwork issue. Welcome to NERC News. I'm Jordan. It seems like the mainstream media is once again protecting the left by changing the meaning of basic words like illegal. When Democrat policies cause riots or violence, the media tries to erase the truth. Democrats and their media supporters will twist anything to defend their side. If CNN had its way, they'd probably call looting sharing from stores. Conservative podcaster Ben Ferguson is calling out how ridiculous all this is.
There's news in America every single day. There are children that cry when their mom or dad, who's an American citizen that breaks the law, gets arrested and goes to jail. I have watched it. And there's no rioting and looting over that because we understand that we're either a country of laws or we are not a country of laws. Every day we send moms and dads who are American citizens to prison and we separate them from their families. And you know why we don't feel sorry for them? Because we judge them on the law and we say if you break the law in America, we put you in jail. So why is it different for illegal immigrants?
And then Maria Elena.
It's a misdemeanor, just like DUI is a misdemeanor, just like indecent
I've been hit by a
assault
drunk driver who died. Don't tell me that's a misdemeanor when he crashed my family over in 100 miles an hour. I'm sorry. That if you want to say that DUI is somehow a misdemeanor and we should treat it like it's not committing a criminal act, you said it's a misdemeanor like it's the same thing.
It is a misdemeanor, just like coming into the country.
It's still breaking the law.
But that's not the point.
Let me finish.
That's not the point. There's a lot of misconceptions, and one of them is that it is a misdemeanor to come into the country illegally. If you get deported and then come back in, then it becomes a crime. But even then, if it becomes a crime, that doesn't mean that you're a rapist and that you're a murderer and that you're a drug dealer.
Ferguson said what most normal Americans are thinking. If you come into the country illegally, you broke the law. What kind of country acts like breaking border laws is just a paperwork mistake? If someone robs a bank and says they forgot their ID, do they get to walk free? Democrats and their media friends secretly want open borders. But instead of saying it, they change the words. They call legal immigrants undocumented. And breaking the law becomes just a misunderstanding. They've done the same thing with riots, gender, and now immigration. But Ferguson didn't accept that, and neither do people who believe in rules, borders, and consequences. Then Scott Jennings stepped in to challenge another tired idea, that both political sides are equally extreme.
Left has a problem with violence. It is in its heart right now.
I don't think it is only the left. I mean, you have literally seen people on both sides committing violence. I think the problem is not the left. I think it is the extremes on both sides of the party. And that is what's happening. Like they're the loudest voices, whether the leaders want them or not, and they're the ones who tend to be the most violent. I don't think that's fair to say it's only the left. I mean,
but why is it happening? Why do late night comedians go on TV and encourage or coddle or give lip service to this vandalism of what went on with Tesla dealerships and so on? Why are there so many prominent people?
People
who are
didn't get hurt.
I totally get why Luigi
died on January 6th.
Why? I don't understand.
Listen, I'm not for vandalism, but like
it's more than that. They firebomb these things. Like it's obviously
it's dangerous, but it's happening on both sides.
What person on the right is committing violence today?
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, when you're in power, you don't tend to be the ones that are doing that. But I think after they lost the election in 2020, there was a mob and a person died, and it was a riot at the Capitol. It was crazy.
It was a terrible day, and it should not have happened.
It was a horrible day,
and it was.
Let
me just check my calendar, and it was 5.5 years ago.
Can we also talk about the fact that someone broke into Nancy Pelosi's house and violently beat up her husband?
You're saying that homeless drug addict is a conservative?
Well, I mean,
this is another trick they use, pretending the extreme left is just like the right. That way, No one has to take responsibility. Jennings got it right. Every time the left causes chaos, they say, well, both sides get upset, as if waving a flag at a school board meeting is the same as burning down a police station. It's ridiculous. This is how the mainstream media protects its political friends, by mixing up peaceful protests with violence and law-abiding citizens with dangerous radicals. If everyone is blamed, then no one is truly held responsible. That's the whole point. And now, just like before, they're trying to change the story about what really happened in LA this week, just like they did back in 2020. Here's a short video clip that shows you everything you need to know about how biased these so-called journalists really are.
The LA County Police say that they have it under control. Carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. What did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot.
Video after video has shown that these agents are the ones provoking protesters and also making up, aggression by these protesters that later video shows people were not aggressive.
We are having an administration that's targeting peaceful protests, people that are there to protest. The president is sending the National Guard because he doesn't like the scenes. He doesn't like the scenes of people peacefully protesting.
Unrest is isolated. LA is home to millions of people, most of whom are having a normal day here on Sunday.
You know, you've heard reports that there are riots on the streets of Los Angeles. That is not what's happening across the city of Los Angeles.
Governor Newsom's right. There wasn't anything like a riot happening on Friday, Saturday.
We just witnessed a protester thanking a National Guardsman for his service here in California.
LAPD, by most estimates, had this under control last night.
No, I don't think the National Guard is needed now. Things in LA are calm. There was a protest that got a little unruly late at night.
There have been no violence where anybody that was protesting hit anybody, shot anybody, threatened anybody. Nothing has happened.
What is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn.
Most of those demonstrators were very peaceful. They were chanting, they were shouting, people were driving by.
They're trying to make people forget what's happening now, just like they tried to make us forget what happened in 2020. But people remember the truth. Back then, reporters stood in front of burning buildings and called the riots mostly peaceful. Kamala Harris supported bail fund for rioters, and Nancy Pelosi called federal agents stormtroopers. Now, the same thing is happening in Los Angeles. Riots, chaos, and the media rushing to cover up like it's a routine emergency. Let's look at the facts. In 2020, over 2,000 police officers were injured, and there was $2 billion in damage in just a few months. That's not a protest. That's organized chaos with media support. And excuses never stop. Look at how they treated people like Carmelo Anthony or how they lied about Kyle Rittenhouse. The left always finds someone to turn into a victim to protect their story, even if it means ignoring the violence. Remember when they even blamed President Trump after someone tried to kill him? They don't care about justice. They want power. And with help from the media, they almost get it. But what do you think? Why does the mainstream media keep defending left-wing violence while calling conservatives the real danger? Let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps us out. Thanks for watching. This has been News.